This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verses 4 and 5. The book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4 and 5. And it reads, Knowest not thou this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. That was the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4 and 5. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright Act of 1976.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Wherefore, Job 18. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, How long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore are we counted as beasts, and reputed vile in your sight? He teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee, and shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straitened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready to side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God.
Fill the ranks of his army. These child
Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready this side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
And if you would like to watch more of those videos, subscribe to his page. It's Manatazak Bunyamyan 144. Subscribe and be edified. Before I get started with this live lesson, I'd like to give all praise and glory to our power, whose name is Yahweh, and his son is Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful 144,000 elect men, saints that are left on planet Earth, as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children only in these last days. And to the new and to the few brothers and sisters listening to me, that's in this truth, to you I say, Shalom. This is your brother Kawas, coming at you with another lesson in this truth, 24/7, 365. This is what I do to get you in the mood. Kwam Nasharallah, Raz Israel. We got next, baby, any day now. Guaranteed, can't wait, book it. The two most important things you will ever know as a Hebrew Israelite in this knowledge, in this truth, is the name of our power, which is Yahweh, and the name of his son, which is Yahweh Shai. Esau Edom, E-S-A-U. Esau Edom is the so-called white man. He's not white, but he's red. He's our red, sinister, Hebrew big brother enemy. Esau Edom, we are Jacob of the Bible. The title of the lesson is White Fragility. And I'm going to land back off this video that the brother from Arrows of Indignation on YouTube, Arrows of Indignation on YouTube, he shares a lot of great shorts type videos that really inspire brothers. And it came across my feed this morning. And I would like to land back off of that and give my 2 cents, and then I'm out. Before I play the video, let me read my preface precept again. Matter of fact, Shalaki, let's go to this one. Let's go to Daniel's chapter 4. My preface precept was the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4 and 5. Now I'm going to read the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17 in the NLT, New Living Translation. And it reads, For this has been decreed by the messengers. We are the messengers, the prophets, the hopeful elect men, and the 1/3 men, women, and children, the men of Great Millstone, and the men of like doctrine that teaches this gospel week in and week out on the highways and the byways, as well as during the sit downs. We are the messengers. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. For this has been decreed by the messengers. It is commanded by the holy ones. The holy ones are the angels. So our message, and Lord will impart a number of men that are the messengers, the prophets. Our message has been commanded by the holy ones, which are the angels, so that everyone may know that the Most High Yahweh is his name, rules over the kingdoms of the world. He, Yahweh, gives them the kingdoms of the world to anyone he chooses, even to the lowliest of people. And the lowliest of people are the so-called Edomites, the so-called white man, the pale male, the devil the Bible speaks of, the abomination that makes desolate, the border of wickedness, the harbinger of death, according to scripture. See, the problem with you 2/3 Negro, Christian, Latino backsliders, prosperity gospel lovers, Caesar Borgia worshipers, cheese and rice worshipers, is that you do not believe that the so-called white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. See, that is what you call Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is, let me see how. Let me get it. Bear with me. I know what it means, but it's still early here on the West Coast. Let me make sure. Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon. So you 2/3 Jake, Negro, Christian, Latino backsliders, prosperity gospel lovers, America with a triple K lovers, you voters, you jab takers, you protesters, you holiday celebrators, right? You that still eat swine's flesh, believing that it's lawful, that you could eat lobster, shrimp, crab, spider, squid. You have Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon. So you're dealing with a psychological phenomenon where we're victims of abuse, and you are victims of abuse, Jake E, Keisha Latino backslider. We're victims of abuse or captivity. You're in captivity, Jake E, Keisha Latino. Let me prove that real quick, and I'm gonna get to my lesson. Let's go to the Apocrypha to prove to you Negro, Christian, Latino, prosperity, gospel-loving Catholics that you are in captivities. But brother, captivity, brother. I'm not in captivity, brother. Yeah, okay. Let me prove this to you. The book of Baruch. See, the problem is everybody is a believer until the scriptures come out. Everyone is a believer until the scriptures come out. See, are you a believer or not? You believe that 3-day notice. You believe that article on the news. You believe that article in the newspaper. You believe that text message, but you don't believe the scripture that you are in captivity. You Negro, Latino, backsliding Indian savages. You blacks, Latinos, and Native American Seminole Indians. You are in captivity. Believe it or not. Let me prove it. The book of Baruch, chapter 4. Let me get chapter 4, Salak. The book of Baruch, chapter 4. Verse 29 and 30. And it reads, let me get it. Bear with me. Let me find it. Where is it? Am I in Baruch? Yeah, I'm in Baruch 4. Is this what I'm looking for? Is it Baruch 2? Let me go to Baruch 2. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, maybe it's Baruch 2. So I thought it was Baruch 4. Bear with me. Let me get back to that Stockholm syndrome. Right. Right. Baruch 2, beginning at verse 30 in the Apocrypha through verse 32. Let's do Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 through 33. Let's do it to the end of the chapter. So Baruch chapter 2 in the Apocrypha, chapter 30. I'm a little excited. The book of Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 through 35, excuse me. And it reads, "For I knew that you would not hear me, Jake E, Keisha Latino, you Israelites. Jake E, Keisha Latino, backslider, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Haitians. You are the Israelites that he is referring to. For I knew that you would not hear me. Why? Because it is a stiff-necked people. You blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and Haitians. You are a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, and the land of their captivities is America, Puerto Rico, South America, right? You name it, Brazil. But in the land of their Dominican Republic, but in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves." And we are waking up to who we are. Now in 2026, everybody is so-called woke. But the problem with that's good that everyone is so-called woke. But as everyone is waking up, there is still one truth. There is still only one truth. So regardless of everyone waking up, they are still lost to a certain extent, or still sleep to a certain extent, if you don't have that one truth, which is the doctrine of GMS that the name of Yahweh, the name of our power is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and that we got next in rulership. This doctrine that you're hearing is the truth from our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Baruch 2, verse 31. And I shall know in the land of their captivities, and shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, their power. So you're starting to realize that he is our power, and his name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. For I give them an heart and ears to hear, right? Baruch 2, verse 32. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivities. And that's what the men of Great Millstone and the men of like doctrine. That's what we're doing. The hopeful elect men and the 1/3 men, women, and children only. We are praising the Most High Yahweh in the land of our captivity of America with a triple K. We are behind enemy lines, prophesying the downfall of America, prophesying the downfall of the so-called white man's leadership, rulership, as well as ushering in the coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, who is a melanated man with a beard, afro, and an attitude. I'm in Baruch chapter 2, verse 32. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Not Yeshua, not Yahuwah, not Ahiah, not Ashiah, not Yah, not Jehovah, not Yahweh. It's Yahweh, and his son is Yahweh Shai. Verse 33, Baruch 2. And return from their stiff neck, Stockholm syndrome, stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, being niggas and whores and things of that nature, unbelievers, swine flesh eaters, and adulterers, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Nothing personal, but Pastor Pervert, Bishop Bacon, your father who was a minister, your auntie who was a preacher, your parents who were preachers, they did not know the sins of their fathers. So therefore they continued the tradition of prosperity gospel. Baruch 2, verse 34. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath with their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be the Lord Yahweh, the lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Last but not least, Baruch 2, verse 35, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I gave them. But my point was in verse 30, where it says, Baruch 2, verse 30, for I knew that they would not hear me. Why? Because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. That was the book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 30. Let's go back to the term of Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where victims, you Israelites, of abuse, you Israelites, or captivity, I just proved that, develop a strong emotional bond. What? Sympathy or loyalty to their perpetrators. So you 2/3 Jake, Negro, Christian, Latino backsliders, you love your perpetrators. You're loyal now. You have an emotional bond to your perpetrators. You're sympathetic, loyal to your perpetrators. So I want to play this video from the brother from Arrows of Indignation. I'm laying back and off this video. Lord willing, is edifying and to the point. Preferably, I'm praying for you. Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright Act of 1976.
What have we become here? This isn't us. How did we let this happen?
This is who we've always been. This country has never been great for everybody. It was designed to benefit white people, specifically 21-year-old land-owning white men. Period. Hard stop. And every demographic or gender outside of that has had to fight against the white man just to be equal. Go back to the Middle Passage. 1.4 million black people died on ships. Segregation, Jim Crow, women's suffrage movement, Asians in internment camps. We murdered millions of Native Americans and just took their land. We started a war with Mexico and took that land. We took the land from King Kamehameha in Hawaii. All we've done as a white people, we're like locusts We take and we take and we take and we take.
Now let me prove that what he just said. Go to the book of Micah. I believe that's Micah. Let's see. The book of Micah. Where you at? The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. My point is in verse 2. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. Who devise iniquity? The so-called white man. He devised iniquity. What is iniquity? Iniquity is continual sin. Woe to them that devise iniquity, continual sin. When you gonna stop sinning, Esau, or try to stop? You can't. Let me prove why he cannot stop sinning. Let me prove to you why the so-called white man cannot stop sinning. Habakkuk chapter 2. Let's right to the point. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. This is why the so-called white man cannot stop sinning, why he devises iniquity. A devise or device is a thought. A device or devise is a thought. So he thinks of iniquity. Right? I got another one to back that up. Let me before I forget it. I believe that's Proverbs 4. Don't quote me. Proverbs 4. Put this up raw. Proverbs 4. I believe that's 4. Let's see. Proverbs 4, verse 16 and 17. For they sleep not, they devise iniquity. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief. They devise iniquity. For they sleep not, except they've done mischief. What type of human being spirit cannot sleep unless they've done mischief? And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. This is who we're dealing with. This is who we're trying to wake you up to. Jake E, Keisha Latino backslider, you prosperity gospel loving Negro, Christian Latinos, Israelites. We're trying to wake you up to the fact that your enemy, the so-called white man, devises iniquity, and he cannot sleep unless he done mischief, and his sleep is taken away unless he caused some to fall, put them to death, put them out their home, right? Proverbs 4, verse 17. For they, the wicked, Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, eat the bread of wickedness. What does that taste like? You can only imagine what the bread of wickedness tastes like, but they enjoy eating the bread of wickedness. They enjoy devising iniquity, right? And drink the wine of violence. What does that taste like? So what type of meal is that of the bread of wickedness and the wine of violence? That is a poisonous meal that he enjoys eating and drinking. Let's go back to Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, the so-called white man's soul, his mind, his will, his emotions, which is lifted up, arrogant, proud, is not upright in him. That's why the video, he said, all we do is take and take and take and take. But the just, we're the just, you Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Himalayan and Haitians, regardless of your sin and your iniquity and your foolishness, Jake, you still are the righteous. You still are the just. However, there is an aristocrat to the righteous and to the just, which are the 144K men saints that are left on planet Earth, as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number. We are above you in righteousness and justice, because you refuse to lose Cesare Borgia, cheese and rice. You refuse to lose adultery and marijuana smoking and Stella Rose drinking and committing adultery. But the hopeful elect men, and Lord, I'm part of that number, we are the just. We are the best of Israel. And the just shall live by faith. Back to Micah 2, verse 1. Woe to them. That was Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Proverbs 4, verse 16 and 17. Now I'm back in Habakkuk. Now I'm back in Micah 2, verse 1 and 2. Micah chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity. I just proved that. And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. Why? Because it is in the power of their hand. Second verse. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Back to the video.
That's what you're seeing right now. A white man taking Venezuela. A white man taking Greenland. A white man probably going after Colombia. Let's be real. Today is the 5th year of January 6th. A white man lied about an election because he didn't like the results. White people went to the U.S. Capitol and beat officers. 5 of them died after that day. 4 from PTSD, and Officer Sitnick died from his injuries the following day. Many officers had heart attacks, crushed vertebrae, PTSD. The entire world saw it. And this country said, yep, that's the guy I want back in power. The rapist, the child molester, the convicted felon, the pedophile, the man who cheats on his wife with the porn star, the guy who asked for the execution of 5 black men, grabbed women by the pussy, grabbed them by the blah, 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 calling women piggy, calling them fat, calling them ugly, telling 30,000 lies, having dinner with Nick Fuentes. And white people in a majority went to the booth and said, this is really hard. It's either that, the guy that talks about Hannibal Lecter and electric sharks and how windmills cause cancer, who stares at the sun without sunglasses, or the black woman, the most qualified candidate in the history of our country. And this country voted like it always does for the most morally bankrupt, unqualified white man just because he's white.
And I just proved that, but let me get one more. Let's go to the Apocrypha to prove what he just said about how this white man feel about everything. Let me get this. This is it. Bear with me. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, I believe. Or is it 10? Let's see. No, this is it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Now, this whole chapter is referring to the white man's envy. The so-called white man is envious of us. He don't like us. It goes back to when Esau and Jacob, when Jacob, which is supplanted Esau for his blessing. Ever since then, he said, let me see if I can find it. That's in Genesis 27. Let me go there real quick. Genesis 27. I can still hear it on the West Coast, and my thoughts is kind of stacked up. So I'm just let the scripture speak for me. Genesis 27. It could be 20. Yeah, 27. I believe it's 27. Let me scroll down. Bear with me. 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 It says, bear with me. I'm reading. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Right. Here it is right here. Here it is. Okay, let's start at verse 39. Genesis 27, start at verse 39. We'll go to verse 42. The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 39 through 42, and it reads, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, talking to Esau, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. So this white man has had the fatness of the earth. He got all the oil, all the gold, all the ivory, all the cinnamon, everything, all the wine. So Isaac told him, Behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay. And the dew of heaven from above. Okay. And that's what in the direct energy weapon and all the satellites and telescopes and international space stations, the dew of heaven from above, chemtrails, right? Weather manipulation. Genesis 27 verse 40. And by the sword is a sword. But fast forward to 2026, the sword is from a sword to a gun to a drone to a robot dog to all the way up to the ICBM thermonuclear missile. And by the sword, doesn't this man have nuclear missiles? Doesn't he have missiles? Yes. So Isaac is telling him by your sword, your missiles, your weapons, you shall live. Why do you think the white man has more guns? And he's going to bring that out, this gentleman. I mean, this man have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. When I go to I go occasionally, not often, to the gun show here in my local city, and I've seen white men buy 20, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 rounds of ammo. They're pushing crates of ammo on dollies and those hand trucks, loading them into their truck. 50, 60, 70,000, 100,000 rounds of ammo at one time. I'm in Genesis 27 verse 40. And by the sword shall you live, and shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass when you shall have dominion, and he has the dominion now, you shall break his yoke from off thy neck. And that's what he did. He's in rulership right now over us. And we used to rule over him during Solomon, King David, right? Genesis 27 verse 41. Listen, and Esau hated Jacob. So it's a perpetual hatred. The scriptures use that term, perpetual hatred, because of the blessing whereas his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, listen, this is how I feel to this day. The days of mourning of my father are at hand. Then shall I slay my brother Jacob. Right? Verse 42, and these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. So Rebekah, the mama, heard this, and she sent and called for Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, your brother Esau, the so-called white man, as touching thee, does comfort himself. Listen, does comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now you want to know how he can put us on cargo slave ships for 3.5 months, packed like sardines. How he can bash our babies' heads against the rocks, bury our toddlers to their neck and kick their heads off, cut our pregnant women's belly until when the baby fall out and stump the infant newborn. Back to the video.
And we still today refuse.
Salakia, what led me there? Let me go back. We get back to that. Wisdom of Solomon 2 in the Apocrypha. This is how the white man feel. Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse, I'm going to read quickly. For the ungodly, who's the ungodly? The so-called white folks. Reasoning with themselves, but not aright. So they try to reason with themselves, but it's not aright. Our life is short and tedious because of white fragility. They're delicate, they're fragile. And in death of man, there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we have never been, if we don't keep our foot on these niggas. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart. That is the wickedness of them. Third verse, which be extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as soft air, and our name shall be forgotten in time. You damn right. And no man shall have our works in remembrance. No, because the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is going to burn all of America up with ICBM thermonuclear missile fire. So there will be no more concrete, chemtrails. There won't be left over a piece of a quarter or a McDonald's wrapper. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud. This is what they call so-called manifest destiny. But the real manifest destiny is the Israelites in rulership on planet Earth, having necks in rulership, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. Listen, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passes away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed. Your destruction, your end of your rulership is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again of their nation. And let me prove that. Proverbs, no, is that Psalms 14. Don't quote me. Bear with me. How does it go? Or that it wasn't Proverbs 14. No, it might be. Let's go to Proverbs 14. Let's go to Proverbs 14. Let's see if this is what I'm looking for. No. What am I looking for? Let me type in bear with me. Job 14, Salakia. The book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined. Where we get that from? We got that from Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Should be getting this. Our lives shall trace. Where did I get that from? We're born. Bear with me. We extinguish and our body shall return. Bear with me. I just read for our time to shut up, passes away. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 5. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 5 led me to Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, and the so-called white man know that his days are determined. The number of his months are with thee. Who's thee? The Most High. The number of his months in being in rulership is with the Most High. You have appointed his bounds. The Most High has appointed his bounds, Esau Edom's bounds, that he cannot pass. So it's like a rubber band. His kingdom is like a rubber band. It only can stretch but so far. Doesn't every kingdom come to an end? How much more the so-called white man's kingdom? And one thing about the white man, he knows his kingdom is coming to an end. Let me prove that too. Revelations 12 and 12. Book of Revelations 12, verse 12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, call all ye high by shadows of the angels, and ye that dwell them, the angels, right? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, that's us and the animals in the ocean. For the devil, the so-called white man, is come down unto you, not in the spirit, not some devil not some spirit with a red spirit with horns and a pitchfork. The devil is a man. Let me prove that for those that don't know. Let's go to, I'm gonna come back to that. Let's go to Psalm 17. That the devil, the wicked, is a man, not some spirit entity with horns and a pitchfork. Psalm 17, verse 13 and 14. Psalm 17, verse 13 and 14. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, break his heart, bust his bubble, piss on his parade, cast him down, Bubba Kushaw, out of his rulership. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. So what does that scripture is telling you? That the so-called white man was his spirit. They were created to be a sword, a whooping stick, a punishment to us Israelites, because they are the complete opposite of us. They are our nemesis. 14th verse, Psalm 17. From men, see, we're talking about the wicked, right? From men which are your hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, the Edomites, which have their portion in this life. Remember, we just read that Isaac said, you will have the fatness of the earth, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your head treasures, the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth. They are full of children, Edomites everywhere, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. That's generational wealth that we never got a chance to establish, because he destroyed all of our Black Wall Streets, that we would have had some type of generational wealth to this day if he would not did that. So back to Psalm 17. No, I'm sorry. Where was I? I'm bringing up so many prints, I kind of forgot. But I was in Wisdom of Solomon chapter. No. I was in Job 14. I read that. So let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning. I just proved that. For it is fast sealed your judgment, so that no man cometh again of you Edomites. Listen to this. Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 6 in the Apocrypha. Come on, therefore. Let us enjoy the good things that are present. Let's destroy the planet. Let's rule in wickedness. And let us quickly use a creature like as in youth, how we used to do. When they came over here and put us in cargo slave ships and treated us like slaves for 400 years. Let's go back to that mindset. 7th verse. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine, right? Catholicism and Christianity, and lies and guile, and ointments, which is a poison, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. 8th verse. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. It says, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. Wickedness. This is our portion and our lot of this. So they believe it is their manifest destiny to rule this planet and destroy it. See, the so-called white man know he's the devil. The problem with you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, similar Indians, and Haitians, you don't believe that the white man is the devil, but the white man knows he's the devil. Here's the point. Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 10. Let us, the Edomites, oppress the poor righteous man. That's the Israelites. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hair of age. Listen, let our strength be the law of justice, their legislation. For that which is feeble, weak, is found to be nothing. Let's see. Here's my point. I'm end this chapter. Here's my point. Here's another point. Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous. That's wicked. Why? Because he is not for our turn. We are complete contrary to the so-called white man. See, the Most High makes a nemesis to everything, the opposite of everything. If there's good, there's going to be bad. If it's hot, it's going to be cold. If it's up, there's down. If there's light, there's darkness. So the so-called white man is the opposite of us. We're righteous, he's wicked. It says, he upbraideth us with our offending of the law. Upbraideth means rebuking you. We rebuke the so-called white man that he offends the law of the Most High. And objective, we go against to our infamy, right? The transgressing of our education in wickedness, right? Two more. Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 13. He professes, and we do, to have knowledge of Yahweh. And he calleth himself the child of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And we do. He, talking about the Israelites, was made to reprove our thoughts. See, the white man know that we are complete counterclockwise, contraries, perverse. It's not perverse, but counterclockwise to their way. That's why I said he professes to know the knowledge of Yahweh, and we do. Why do you think we hit the highways and the byways? We're professing the knowledge of the Most High. And he calleth himself the child of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We are. He was made to reprove our thoughts. The Israelite man was made to reprove the thoughts of you Edomites. Back to the video. That was Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 1 through 14. Back to the video.
To have the difficult conversation that part of this country was triggered by a black man in the White House instead of out in the fields picking their cotton. So they went back to the plantation owner what they know.
See, I just proved that. They go back to what they know right here. Let me, Wisdom of Solomon just proved that. Let me find it again. Right. No. Where is it? Bear with me. It says it right here. Right. Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 6. Come on, therefore. This is how the white folks think. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily, quickly use the creatures like as in youth. In other words, let's go back to that slave owner, plantation owner mindset that they have. And this man just proved that. Listen to what he just said. Listen.
Right. And we still today refuse to have the difficult electric sharks and how windmills cause cancer, who stares at the sun without sunglasses, or the black woman, the most qualified candidate in the history of our country. And this country voted like it always does for the most morally bankrupt, unqualified white man just because he's white. And we still today refuse to have the difficult conversation that part of this country was triggered by a black man in the White House instead of out in the fields picking their cotton. So they went back to the plantation owner what they know.
See, there it is. They went back to the plantation order what they know. We got to put these niggas in captivity. We got to put our foot on these niggas' neck.
They would rather burn this country to the ground than thrive under a black woman. And white people are walking around like, this isn't who we are. Yeah, it's who we've always been. White privilege has kept you safe from it, has shielded it from you. And even now, while immigrants are being mistreated, good people that work hard, that bust their ass, that are good people, that love this country more than MAGA does, actual patriots that love this country. We're watching women getting dragged through the snow with one arm, losing their pregnancies. We got immigrants in concentration camps losing their lives, getting 1 meal a day, 2 showers a week. Over 200 U.S. citizens have been arrested because they're racially profiling people. And we're just sitting around, well, I don't want to talk politics because I don't want to upset a friend. And we're doing what we've always done as white people. Going right back into our privilege because it doesn't affect me.
Let me prove that. Psalms 74, or 73. Bear with me. Psalms 73. Let's try Psalm 73 first. See if this is it. Right, here it is. Psalm 73. Woo. Let's get right to the point. Psalm 73, verse 4 and 5. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. 5th verse, Psalm 73. They are not in trouble as other men. See, they don't have to worry about getting dragged in the street, ICE rounding them up. First hired, last fired. Last hired, first fired. They don't have to worry about that. You know, hurry up and buy. Go to the liquor store, go to a local. Hurry up and buy. They don't have to worry about that. They are not in trouble as other men. They get arrested or something, they get out. Pedophiles get proven to be pedophiles and don't even go to jail. But Jake sells some weed, he locked up for 5-10 years. You know, can rape children and beat their women all day long, but let Jake check his women and then she call the police and he get locked up. Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. They don't have financial issues now. They're struggling financially now. But the rich elite, the billionaire banking families, the Rothschild, the DuPont, the Bilderberg, they ain't worried about a light bill. They got trillions. But you and I are. So that was Psalm 73, verse 4 and 5, to prove that they are not like other men. They are not in trouble as other men. It's called a double standard. Back to the video.
And you think that somehow, because you participated in a No Kings protest in April, July, and October on a Saturday outside of working hours, that you deserve a participation trophy because you did something. And you woke up and you made signs and you high-fived and you went to watch Netflix, or you went to a baseball game, or you went to a football game. And what did you do? Did you go on a general strike? Oh no, I can't do that. I can't afford to. That's too uncomfortable. Have you stopped paying taxes? Oh no, that's too uncomfortable. Have you posted on social media? Oh no, I don't want to affect work. I don't want to upset Uncle Bob because he might talk to me during Christmas. Did you stop spending on Black Friday? No, I can't do that. I need the discounts for Christmas. What are you willing to do? Because I haven't seen enough people that look like me willing to be uncomfortable. That's the problem.
I just proved that. Remember? Right here. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Problem. We will not remember the voices of our enemies, rather the silence of our friends. And right now, that's what white people are doing. You, white people, including myself, are responsible for this through our silence.
Let me prove that. Let me prove that. Second Ezra's 6 in the Apocrypha. Second Ezra's 6. Classic GMS precept. Second Ezra 6, verse 9. We're going to start at verse 8. Second Ezra 6 in the Apocrypha. Second Ezra chapter 6 in the Apocrypha, verse 8 through 10. And it reads, and he said unto me, from Abraham and Isaac. You know what? Let's start at verse 7. Second Ezra 6, verse 7. Listen good. Then answered I and said, this is a question that Ezra asked the angel. What shall be the parting asunder of times? When is this world going to come to an end? When are we going to be out of this white man's rulership? Or when shall be the end of the first, right? This world that we're living in, and the beginning of it that followeth the new kingdom. That was a beautiful question that Ezra asked. And the answer has been given. But let's listen. Second Ezra 6, verse 8. And listen to the answer the angel gave Ezra about the end of the parting asunder of time and the end of this world. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. Wait a minute. What that got to do with the end of the world? From Abraham unto Isaac. When Jacob and Esau were born. We just read about that in Genesis 27, but you can begin in verse 25. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau in Rebekah's womb. So when Esau was born first, as he was being pulled out the womb, Jacob was holding on to his heel. In other words, bring your ass back in here so I can finish beating you up, because I know once we get out of this womb, you're going to be a thorn in my side. And the so-called white man has been a thorn in the side of Jacob. We're Jacob ever since this day. Second Ezra 6, verse 9. He's still answering the question. Second Ezra 6, verse 9. For Esau, ding, 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 is the end of the world. And Jacob, that's us, is the beginning of it that followeth. We got next in rulership. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Shai. 10th verse, Second Ezra 6, verse 10. The hand of man, where we are right now in 2026, is betwixt or between the heel and the hand. So that's a symbolism. Other questions Ezra asks not. Back to the video.
Just like the 3 officers stood by while George Floyd was murdered, we're sitting by and watching it happen because we think that our privilege will keep us safe. You're complicit in it, and you're complicit in it, and you're complicit in it. I don't do politics means I have white privilege and I'm going to hide behind it as long as I can because it doesn't affect me.
Right.
Don't.
That goes back to the wisdom of Solomon. Forgive me for stopping the video, but the spirit keep hitting me going back to this precept. Let me see. Well, right to the very first verse. For the ungodly, the so-called white man said, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious. Their rulership is short. They know it, that they about to be taken out of power. And in the death of man, there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Right? But let me see. It was a point I want to bring out. Let's see. Bear with me. Right. Verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 10. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of age. Let our strength, listen, Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing. Let me prove that he hides behind his law and his justice. Go to Isaiah 10, the book of Isaiah, chapter 10. Check this out. Isaiah 10, verse 1 and 2. Isaiah 10, verse 1 and 2. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Right? We just read in Wisdom of Solomon 2, let our strength be the law of justice. Ain't no law of justice. Hold on, let me prove that. Habakkuk 1, real quick. Let me, brother Roller, let me roll. Keep up. That's all. Write them down. Habakkuk 1, verse 4. Check this out. Therefore, Habakkuk 1, verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack. The so-called law of justice in this white man's kingdom is slacked. Therefore, the law is slack and judgment does never go forth. For the wicked, the so-called white man, does compass, circle about the righteous with his laws and his wickedness. Therefore, wrong judgment proceed. Remember, I read in Psalm 73 that they are not like other men. Psalm 73, because the laws was written for them. So Jake will go to jail. They'll lock Jake up in jail for selling weed for 10 years, or in the 80s, selling in the 90s, selling, or early 2000s, selling weed. He sell a dime bag, 20 bag, and get 5-10 years in jail. Then now weed is legal now. Won't you let the brothers out? If weed is legal now, let them out. But the strength of their law is their justice, right? But right here it says, they're Psalm 73 and 5, they are not in trouble as other men because the law was written for them. Neither are they plagued like other men because the law was written for them, right? Isaiah 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Isaiah 10 and 1. And write grievousness. So their law of justice, so-called, is grievous, which they prescribe. Doesn't a doctor prescribe? Well, their law of justice, so-called, is prescribed, written. Second verse, Isaiah 10, to turn aside the needy from judgment. We're the needy. So their law, so-called law of justice, turn aside the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people. That's what their law of justice does. That widows may be their prey, according to their law of justice, and that they rob the fatherless through the law of their justice. Taxes is wrong. You're not supposed to tax me over and over and over and over. You tax my check. Then you tax me when I go buy or spend my check. They have a death tax. If my parents left me an inheritance, and as they were working to get the inheritance, you tax them. Now they pass away and leave the inheritance to me. Now you want to tax me off the inheritance that they gave me that you taxed already. Before I get hired, I got to wait. Once I get hired from a job, I got to wait 2 weeks to get a check. 2 weeks to get my first check, and then you tax me on that? You're supposed to pay a man every day when he works. Back to the video.
Wave your gold cross at me and say you love your neighbor as yourself when the only person you care about is yourself. I do this because I was named after Paul, and I consider myself an imperfect person in all aspects, but I consider myself a person of faith. And I might not know all the answers to everything, but I know one thing. If Jesus was here and saw what's happening in this country, I'll be goddamned if he wouldn't be out there protesting every day. He would be on a strike.
Well, what do you think the men of great millstone and the men of like doctrine? What do you think we do week in and week out? We're on the highways and the byways, prophesying the downfall of America, as well as ushering in the coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua. So we're behind enemy lines. So we are doing that through the spirit and power of Yahushua. Let me prove that. Let me see which one I want to go to. I guess I'll go here. That's cool. Isaiah 6. Isaiah, bear with me. Isaiah, where you at, Isaiah? Isaiah 60. Right. No, Isaiah 58, Salakia. Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58, verse 1 and 2. Man. Ooh. Wow. Man. Let me read this. Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not. That's what we do, the men of great millstone, the men of like doctrine, week in and week out. We cry aloud and we spare not. We don't give a damn about your feelings, Jake, E, Keisha, Latino, and definitely don't give a damn about your feelings, Esau. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet, right? That's why we don't use microphones. We use our voice. Yahushua didn't have a PA system when he was teaching. He used his voice. And show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Isaiah 58 and 2. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power. They ask me of the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching of Yahweh. But my point is in verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, and lift up that voice like a trumpet, and show thy people their transgressions. Now hold on, the scripture just came to me. Let's see if I want to go here. Second Thess 1. No, it's okay. Let's get back to the video.
Every day he would be turning over tables in churches and
Oh,
synagogues.
I got it. Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel 35. He said if Yahushua was on earth, he'll be protesting every day, right? Well, that's what we do, the men of great millstone and the men of like doctrine, week in and week out, right? Let me prove that. Ezekiel 35, verse 1. Through 3, real quick. Ezekiel 35, verse 1 through 3. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, protest against it, prophesy against it, and prophesy against it. That's what we're doing. We're prophesying the downfall of America, as well as ushering in the coming of our Lord and Savior Yahushua. Ezekiel 35 and 3. And say unto it, this is what we're saying, thus says the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua power. Behold, O Mount Seir, aka America with a triple K, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And that's what we prophesy, and we are ushering in the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to make America with a triple K most desolate. Back to the video.
In the Congress and the Senate, and he would do everything he could to stand up for justice. Until this country decides to do that, you're going to get what you deserve.
And what do they deserve? Judgment, punishment. What's that? Revelations. Is that 18? Bear with me. Revelations 18. I'll put this up raw. What am I looking for? Right here it is, right here. Right to the point. Revelation 18:5, referring to America, like he said, is going to get what it deserves, which is judgment, nuclear missile hellfire, destruction, desolation. Revelation 18, verse 5. For her sins, referring to America with a triple K, the whore that sit on many waters. For her sins has reached unto the heavens. That is a lot of sin and iniquity for it to reach the heavens. And Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. See, you want the Most High Yahweh to not remember your iniquities. You want him to look at you through the eyes of Yahweh Shah, his son. So therefore he will forgive your iniquities. But according to scripture, America, the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah is not going to forget the iniquity, the continual sin of America with a triple K, aka Esau. Revelation 18, verse 5. For her sins has reached unto heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. Reward her as Revelation 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which you have filled to double, right? How much she has glorified herself, America with a triple K, and lived deliciously. So much torment, that's not good. Torture and sorrow, that's loss, give her. That's what's coming to America, torment and sorrow. For she has said in her heart, I sit as a queen, I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. They are not like other men. America really believed that they are not going to be judged. But according to scripture, the Most High said, so much torment and sorrow give her. Why? Because he has remembered her iniquities, and her sins has reached the heavens. Back to the video.
And is doing what white men always do, is they take and they take and they take and they take. He's going to take Venezuela. He's going to take...
prove that. Obadiah. Let's go to Obadiah. That this white man take, and take. Obadiah. Am I in Obadiah? Yeah, Obadiah. Right here, verse 5. Obadiah 1, verse 5. If thieves come to thee, and Esau Edom was the thief. What's that, John 10 and 10? He come to kill, steal, and destroy, the so-called white man. If thieves come to thee, and they have already, if robbers by night, how are you cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? So in other words, the example is, let's say a thief came into your home and robbed your house. When you come home, chances are you're going to see maybe your coffee table still there, but it's knocked over. Your refrigerator still there, but it may be open. Your dresser is still there, but it's been ravaged. Your bed is still there, but it may have been tossed over. Your bathroom your toilet is still there. The sink is still there, but it may be ransacked. But the so-called white man, when he robs you, he takes everything. So when you come home after you got robbed by the so-called white man, there is nothing in your home. He took the carpet, he took the sinks, the refrigerator, your bed, your clothing, your toiletries, your linen, everything. Let's read it. If thieves come to thee, and if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? Most robbers do that. They take your gold. They take your money, your jewelry, maybe an outfit or two, but they leave other stuff, but not the white man. Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? But the white man won't do that. You see? Back to the video.
Cuba. He's going to take Greenland. And we're just going to sit by and say, oh, let's wait for the midterms.
And if you, I can't prove it right now. I'm putting this up raw. I don't think I can prove it right now, but the Venezuela, when DJT Nero 47 took Venezuela, and now trying to take Iran and eventually take Colombia and possibly Greenland, it's a $50 trillion deal. They, out of all that, they were able to possibly split between the billionaire banker families, 50 in the petroleum companies, $50 trillion.
It doesn't matter who wins the midterms. Why Do you still think the Democrats are going to save us? They are not up for this fight. This is not about politics. It's about white supremacy. For too long, we thought that we made progress. We never did. What we're seeing is the remnants of the lost cause. The only difference, other than the year, is that Donald Trump, the rapist pedophile, told them, be who you are. Come out of the closet. Leave your white hoods at home and put on your red hats. I'll support you. And that's what you're seeing. That's why you see white nationalists all over the country now, because they're emboldened by the racist, white supremacist grand wizard in the White House. This isn't rocket science. And everybody's saying, who's going to save us? We're not willing to be uncomfortable. Nobody's coming to save you. It doesn't matter if a Democrat wins. It's not going to stop what's wrong with this country. Donald Trump is a symptom of white supremacy. It'll be J.D. Vance next, or some other far-right Pharisee, some other white nationalist that's afraid of a white minority. It's going to be somebody else.
Right. Let me prove that real quick. That he said DJT told you to take off your white hoods and put on your red mega hats. Right. Go to Jeremiah, because he cannot hide himself. You know, a snake a cobra can probably go into a den and hide for a while, but eventually he has to come out and bite somebody. So a cobra cannot hide long. He has to eventually come out and bite and be a cobra, right? Let me prove that. And Esau Edom is the devil the Bible speaks of, and he has to be the devil. He can't help himself. Jeremiah 49:10. Matter of fact, let's read this too, backing up. Let's start at verse 7. My point is in verse 10. This is fire. Jeremiah 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, ding, ding, ding. Esau, Edom, so-called white man. America with a triple K. Thus says the Lord Yahweh of hosts, armies of heaven and earth. Is wisdom no more in Teman? Absolutely not. Is counsel perished from the prudent? Yes. Is their wisdom vanished? Yes. 8th verse, Jeremiah 49. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep. Try your hardest, Esau, to fix what you have destroyed. But you can't. O inhabitants of Dedan, which is another AKA term for America with a triple K. For I will bring calamity of Esau upon him. So that's why I said, flee ye, turn deep. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep. Try your best to make America great again. But it ain't going to happen, Captain, right? For I will bring the calamity upon Esau, of Esau upon him, that I will visit him. Real quick, let me get to before I forget this. Before I forget. Right. Real quick. Jeremiah, I'm going to go back to Jeremiah 49. Let's go to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51, verse 8. Babylon, America with a triple K, is suddenly fallen, and destroyed. Finally, can't wait. It's circling the drain. The arrow is pointing down on America. Howl for her, right? Take balm for her pain, right? You take balm when you have a pain and you're aching, right? If so, she may be healed. If so be, she may be healed. Listen, Jeremiah 51, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. To hell with this place. And let us go every one into his own country. That's coming. And people are leaving America with a triple K at numerous amounts. For her judgment reaches unto heaven. We just proved that in Revelation 18. And is lifted up even to the skies. Back to Jeremiah 49, verse 8. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep. Try your best to figure this out, devil, how to make America great again. O inhabitants of Dedon, America with a triple K. For I will bring calamity, that's not good, of Esau upon him. Woo! How much more his country? The time that I will visit him, and he's visiting him now. 9th verse. If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? I just proved to you that in Obadiah, that when this devil comes and robs you, he takes everything, your carpet, your appliances, your plumbing, except the only thing he don't take is the foundation of the house, because he want to come back and maybe own it. But he takes everything. He steal, kill, and destroy. If these by night they will destroy till they had enough. 10th verse, Jeremiah 49. But I have made Esau bare, expose his ass, ripped his clothes off, expose his Vienna sausage in his drawers, that little pink baby rod he got between his legs. I have uncovered his secret places, and he is not able to hide himself. So the Most High is allowing him to be him. He can't hide as a cobra, a snake anymore. He has to bite, kill. Remember we read in Proverbs earlier, they cannot sleep unless they've done mischief. Their sleep is taken away unless they have done mischief. He is not able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. His whole nation is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. That's all I want. Back to the video.
Until we fix the root of this problem, we will never be a great country for everybody. And we've got here because we have propagandized generations of people in this country, and we've told ourselves that we're the best of the best of the best of the best, and it's a lie. We raise our kids in American flag diapers, and we eat our freedom Wheaties before we go to school, and we talk about freedom and guns and Second Amendment and bald eagles and more freedom, and throw in God once in a while and sprinkle in a gold cross or some other symbol of nationalism. And we go to baseball games and we worship the flag, and we go to school and we worship the flag. And before we leave the house, we feed our pet bald eagle, and we get in our truck and put on 400,000 million American flags because we don't want our neighbors to forget that we're patriots. And then we polish the Constitution. And then we don't put on seatbelts because we're patriots. We don't want to be confined by safety. Screw that. Yeah, we're anti-vaxxers. Yeah, we're patriots. And then you turn up God Bless America so the entire state of California can hear you, and you go to work. But first, you got to go in your house and get 500 billion guns and put them in your back seat because you're a patriot. And it's nationalism.
And he mentioned eagle, right? Let's grab this. I'm about to close. He mentioned eagle, right? Let's get this. Let's go to the Apocrypha. 2nd Esdras 11. He mentioned eagle, right? And the eagle is Esau, the so-called white man. An eagle, right? America symbol is an eagle, right? On the back of the quarter, it's on the American flag. Trump, DJT looks like an eagle. His haircut is cut like an eagle. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 11, just real quick to prove that the eagle is fallen. Let me see which one I want. Bear with me. I'm about to close. Bear with me, I'm reading. Let's see. Right, here it is. Well, let me real quick. Verse 41, 2nd Esdras 2nd Esdras 11, verse 41. But I'm gonna also jump to you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 41 and read on down. 2nd Esdras 11, verse 41. For the earth have you not judged with truth, so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, Esau Edom. For the earth you have not judged with truth. 2nd Esdras 11, verse 42. For you have afflicted the meek. We're the meek, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Seminoles and Haitians. For you have afflicted the meek through your judgment, through your statutes and laws and lawful decrees. You have hurt the peaceable. You have loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit. I mean, you done paved over the roads of black towns that was flourishing. You turned them into a freeway or a lake or a pond, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. 2 Edges 11, verse 43. Therefore, and always find out what it's therefore, is your wrongful dealing come up unto the highest. Woo! And your pride unto the mighty. That's the Most High. 2 Edges 11, verse 44. 144. The highest, the Most High, also has looked upon the proud times, and we are in those proud times. We've been in these proud times. Ever since the so-called white man has been in power, it has been proud times. The highest has also looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. Esau, Edom, abominations are fulfilled. Listen, here's the point. 2 Ezra 11, verse 45. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body. Verse 46, 2 Ezra 11, that all the earth may be refreshed when he get taken out of power, and may return to voluptuousness, being delivered from the violence. Finally, the earth will be delivered from the violence, and that she may hope for the judgment, and we do, and mercy of him that made her. So the earth is waiting for the Most High. The earth is waiting for the Most High Yahweh, who made her, to take, to deliver her from violence, that the earth may be refreshed, that it may return to voluptuousness. One more, and I'm out. I believe that's I want to say Isaiah 14, and I got another video for y'all, and I'm out. Isaiah 14, I believe this is it. Bear with me. Right. Start at verse 4. Isaiah 14, verse 4. 144. Call all y'all by Shemel Shah. That you shall take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, who's the king of Babylon? DJT. Nero 47. Agent Orange. How has the oppressor ceased? How has the cobra been put to death? The golden city ceased. 5th verse. The Lord Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked. Staff means power. So the Most High Yahweh has broken your power, Esau, because you're the wicked, and the scepter of your rulers. 6th verse, Isaiah 14. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. The so-called white man has killed the Israelites in wrath with a continual stroke to this day. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, finally, and none hindereth. So nobody's going to stop you from being persecuted by the Most High Yahweh. Isaiah 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest, finally, and is quiet, because he has been persecuted, taken out of the way. We just read in 2 Edges 11, that the 2 Edges 11, verse 46, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for judgment. The earth is she, and mercy from him, the Most High that made her, the earth. See, where's our 100-foot watermelon? Where's our kiwi and pomegranate and grapes the size of construction tires? Where's the apples the size of and strawberries the size of basketballs? That the earth may refresh it, that the earth may be refreshed and made to return, being delivered from violence, that she may hope for judgment, for the judgment of Esau, and mercy of him, Yahweh, that made her. That was 2 Ezra 11, verse 46. Back to Isaiah 14, verse 7. The earth is at rest, because the damn devil will be taken out of power, and it's quiet. They break if they break forth into singing, the earth, the trees, the plants, the rocks. Isaiah 14, verse 8. Yea, the fir tree, which is a Christmas tree, rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, those are the best trees in the world, is in Lebanon, saying, since you are laid down, just since the so-called white man is out of power, no feller, which is a lumberjack, is come against us. So what happens during Christmas? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, did I say millions, of fir tree, Christmas trees are cut down. That's why it says, yea, the fir tree rejoices at thee. And the cedars of Lebanon, they get some of the best wood from Lebanon. This damn devil cut down trees that he's not supposed to cut down, saying, since you are laid down, no feller is come against thee. I think my point has been made. This is your brother Kawas Malak. This has been White Fragility with the brothers on the comment board. Lord willing, was edifying to the point. Pray for me. I'm praying for you. Kwame Asharala, Rise, Israel. We got next, baby, any day now. Guaranteed. Can't wait. Book it. Barakateh Yahweh Bahashim. Yahweh Shai Bahashim. Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Bishop, the great millstone, that taught me this truth, that rule well. Peace and salutation to the whole 144 elect. One more video. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. Copyright Act of 1976. Shalom to the next one.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Once again, you want to subscribe to this video? It's Manatazak Bunyumyan 144. Subscribe and be edified.
Job 18. Then answered Bildad, the Shuhite, and said, how long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore are we counted as beasts, and reputed vile in your sight? He teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee, and shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straitened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready to side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God.
Thousand transylvanian boys fill the ranks of his army. These
Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
So once again, your brother Kawas Malak. Thank you for listening. To the next one is Rael. To you, I say Shalom and Abad Babal DTA. We got next. Shalom.